we're in on Wednesday. So Christian left on Tuesday. So it was his last day. Now we're back in on our own. So this is it, start of sort of Barney's training. So I didn't want an apprentice. Weren't interested in taking one on at all. But he has proven himself from giving us a hand and stuff over the last couple of weeks. So we decided to give it a go. I spoke to a couple of people who have taken apprentices on, and it ain't easy. It winds you up when you're paying somebody for 8 hours and they book out an hour and a half. You think, I could have done it on my own. And all you're doing is supervising them and stuff. So the way I'm looking at having Barney here is he's got to save me time. So all the little jobs that I don't do, or takes me 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, even these videos, doing paperwork, putting processes in place, following them processes, moving cars, loads of stuff, all the sort of stuff I don't want to be doing, or I can make more money working on the car. That's what he's going to be taking over. And then, so we'll get all the processes put in place, what we can. And then if we can get him on a car for a couple of hours a day while he's training, so obviously he's not going to be able to jump in and do 8 hours worth of work every day. I'm not going to be able to train him for 8 hours every day. So that's your job. So it ain't going to be, he don't like it. Obviously, he's going to think that he's going to come in here and be an auto electrician from day one. It's not going to happen. So you up for it? You haven't really got a choice, have you?
Fuck no. What am I going to do? Say no?
Yeah. So hopefully Barney's got some ideas. He'll work out what he's going to do. Got to get the Kaizen going, all the whiteboards going, and literally, as I think of something, he can just go up on the whiteboard and he can run through all them instead of coming up to me saying, "What's next?" Which a lot of people do. So, got any ideas? On the spot now, haven't you?
Got a couple.
Have you?
Yeah.
Like?
Well, you said once that you had a job in 3 years ago and done something, but you need to know what you had done before you could do what they've come in for. So,
right, yeah.
So
what's just movement?
So I have actually already made a little something for just taking the bare minimum details of the job, like what car it is, what the original fault that it came in for. Say that came in for it's non-start, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was non-start.
That came in for a non-start. Merc R172 number plate coming for a non-start, and then a little brief one-liner. This is what we did. There it was. That's how we fixed it. Because then, say if that ever came back in for a very similar reason, and you think, shit, we've had that in before. What do we do?
Yeah.
Because it could be to do with something on the same track as that, instead of going through and stripping out, because that was a whole strip out of passenger side, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which took quite a while. Instead of wasting 3 hours trying to remember what we did, you put the number plate in, or the specific car or the problem, and it will come up. That's what we did, that's when we did it, and that's where it is.
And what's that going to be, a little database?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of digging through loads of, or getting the wrong information from the customer, or this is what you did, but they don't really know.
Yeah.
Just put a number plate in and it comes up, there's the car, that's what we did, that was the part we fitted. Right. Or that was the fix we did.
So once we've done the car, that's going to take like 2 or 3 minutes after we've done the car.
Yeah.
And then that's it forever.
Yeah, because you can fill 80% of the spreadsheet in when you're booking them in. That's your name, that's your phone number, that's your car, that's your number plate, and that's what you say the problem is.
Yeah.
And then,
so there is obviously garage software out there which semi-does that. You put reg number in, you keep customers' details. But we don't keep customers. We don't, very, very, very rarely do we see them twice, so we don't keep them as a service customer and need to look back through what they had done and stuff like that. So it's not worth it for us having the full garage package where it tells you everything, what's due on the next service, etc. So so because we're quite a specific niche type garage, we will need to put these processes in place. So yeah, sounds good. So we'll be doing little bits like that. We'll chat about what we think will be good. Obviously Barney's keen, he's been thinking about it, without me even asking him. So let's see how we go. Let's get some of these cars cracked out today, and then see what we can do. Cool.
Sounds good.
You kettle on.
Kettle is on.
Right, so we've had this Kajabi in, this first job of the day. So customer's complaint is it's coming up with engine hazard warning, and they suspect it's coming up with the engine oil light as well, actually. Says it only does it most test drives. We've had it come on a couple of times now. Gave it a scan, had codes in all the systems. In the instrument cluster, it did have oil level sensor fault listed on it. We've cleared it all down, road tested it a couple of times, and it still hasn't brought any more fault codes back. So we're a bit worried. It's been to 2 garages now that they could have tested that sensor. That's what's triggered the code, and we don't know whether it's down to that or what's going on. But all we're getting up is engine hazard, engine failure hazard, I think it is. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through the diagrams, see if we've got anything online. If we haven't, we have to apply to All Data. All Data is a very good system that they've got full main dealer access, and they can go through it all. You can ask for specific parts of that. As we've just seen from what Barney's saying, we're going to start taking down registration numbers, what car it is, what fault it is, etc. I could have applied for this or even checked it out before the car come in, and if we thought that we didn't have, as long as we got the right sort of information from the customer and we think it is an oil pressure fault, we can look for oil pressure, we can look for oil sensors, level sensors, make sure we've got all that. If we haven't applied for All Data, they'll send it through by the time the car comes in. So again, that's going to be another little process we do. So even if I can do it in the evenings, I'll just go through my diary, what we've got in tomorrow, let's have a quick look, let's apply for that. Or Barney can do it on a Friday. He's not, you know, we're not going to have that much working on a Friday. You can put some bits back together or whatever, but you can go through the list of cars we got in, roughly what the faults are, double check we've got the information for it. If we haven't, let's check on All Data. If they haven't got it listed on there, so let's apply for it and get it ready for when the car comes in. So yeah, that's another little process that we're looking at putting in place. So let's apply for this one. Oh, well, let's go and check, see if it's on there. If it's not, get it applied for. We'll have it back in this afternoon. Right, I've had this Mercedes in with a battery drain on it. It's 2014, I think it is. So these can be a nightmare, but it actually shut down to 300 milliamps. And quite often when you get faults like this, if it's on a CAN bus system like the Focus, they wake up and shut down, wake up and shut down. You've got to try and work out what module's doing what. But because this one was so high, managed to go through the fuses, trace it down to one fuse under the bonnet, looked on the diagrams, and it said left side door module. So we're like, oh cool, that's what it's going to be down to. So stripped all that side out, took the door card off, checked it all through. It wasn't that side, it was actually this side. So the data was wrong. So rechecked it all, made sure, so as soon as you pulled that fuse, this door wasn't working. So, but it shuts, the fault was on the driver's door module, so took all the door card out of it, checked the module, that was warm, that was drawing current all the time. Barney actually worked out that if you disconnected the power into it, the fault would go, but also if you disconnected one of the output lines on it, which went up to one of the door locks and down to one of the sensors on the door, it would drop away as well. So stripped it out. Door lock was all okay, but it's actually got a sensor in this door handle. I assume it's for keyless entry, must be. As soon as you disconnect that, it shuts that module down, shuts the rest of the car down. It's absolutely perfect. So it just needs that sensor on the door. We found out a dealer. They just send us through a diagram to say which sensor it is. And then, yeah, so we've got it all back together now anyway. The last thing to go back in is the door handle. And then, yeah, another one done. I thought that was going to be a pain, and I thought the Focus was going to be easy. And unfortunately, it's the other way around. So this BMW come in. This is the one with the door window not working. Managed to sort that one out. It was just a blown fuse. Not really sure why. But yeah, that one's all done. There will be a little video on that one going out on Saturday. And what else have got? I've got a Renault Kadjar out there. It's coming up with an oil pressure fault. Only when you drive off. I've scanned it, I've done everything. It's not showing any faults in the car. So again, I've sent away some information, find out how it works, what's going on, and then we can do some testing on it. So now, I think that's about it. Let's see what we can get in next. Right, so moving on from what we were discussing yesterday about putting some processes in place, Barney wanted to start a sort of database of known faults So if we got a Fiat 500 in with a battery drain, we can look back on ones we've done before just to remind ourselves. If I've done it and Barney's never done one before, we can have a quick look up. We was going to set up a spreadsheet on it, but we put all the information anyway on our calendar. So we've set up a process. Barney's written it all down, worked it all out. So if we put all the details in the same on every single car, we should be able to look up old cars, old reg numbers, everything like that. We don't really keep any customer details on there. So yeah, shouldn't be an issue. The biggest problem we had when I was booking cars in and Christian was booking cars in, I'd ask certain questions, he wouldn't, and I'd give information out that he wouldn't. It's a bit of a pain. So if a customer come in and Christian just spoke to him, they'd have one lot of information. If he come in, I'd spoke to him, they'd have slightly different. So what we've done, we've set up a way of asking the right questions, telling the customer the right information, and then, you know, we know if I've told them or Barney's told them, you know, we know they've got the right information. So Barney's going to run you through what we're sort of going to do. So first thing we do, obviously, the customer's going to phone. We want to ask the right questions at the right time, which is going to be...
So obviously just the basics of when a customer phones in and they give you the whole spiel about a fault that they've taken it this, where and everywhere. So to just narrow it down, we're obviously going to need to know the year, the make, the model of the car, because that will then tell us if we've got the information online or if it's like a Chrysler. We don't really have anything for Chryslers anyway, so right off the bat we can rule that job out pretty much. What the fault is, the frequency of the fault, so if it's always happening or it's just once a week, once a month, or once every 12 years because the customer never got it fixed the first time. When it started happening, so we want to try and rule out if the customer's bought the car like it, because if they have, we're going to be lost. It could take hours upon hours and days upon days because we wouldn't have the right information about the car.
The main thing we want is a history of the fault, and if they can't give us a history, we're not interested in it. So if they say we bought it like it, or I bought it as a category C and actually they've had a load of parts fitted on it and it's always been like this, you know, the chance of us finding it pretty remote. So unless it's got full history, we ain't interested in it.
Yeah, it just take way too long at that point.
Exactly.
And has it occurred during your ownership? Obviously, like Bob just said, and have any other garages looked at it previously?
Again, yeah, they phone up and give you some sort of information. If it's been to a garage we trust and they say, yeah, we've just had it in, we had a quick look, we've recommended Bob, all well and good. Or has it been to Fred in the shed, we've fitted 20 parts, you know, 2 mobile mechanics have been out and changed a load of parts as well, and yeah, it's been going on for 6 months. Again, we want to know the history of the attempted repairs, you know. So it's, what you like that, did you? Fred in the shed.
Fred in the shed. That's you at home.
Oui. Yeah. So that's the main thing. Then I spoke about this before. Is it rude to just say to a customer, by the way, we want £150 deposit before we even book you in, and we're booking in 3 weeks ahead? But I don't think there's any point in going down any of the rest of the list if they don't want to, one, pay a deposit, or two, wait the 3 weeks. If they need it done tomorrow and they just want to drop it off somewhere, that's not going to happen with us. So all these processes are to like nip it in the bud if it's not going to be a job for us. So yeah, first lot of questions. The next ones are, you know, inform of the time and deposits. And if they go ahead and say, yeah, you know, I'm happy to do that, we give them a date, and then we go ahead and take all the details. Again, the details have got to be taken in the same way, which is, what are you doing? Yeah.
So we're going to grab the car's registration in case we need to apply for any diagrams or any information online. What car it is, so we can get a bit of a background from that. Their phone number, so we can always contact them, and just the basic of the fault, so airbag fault, ABS faults, stuff like that.
So that's going to be put down in our diary, and it will be written down in exactly the same way. So if we have got a process that's put in place where it's listed down, if I'm taking the details, Barney's taking the details, we know we've got everything we want. You know, sometimes Christian would just put one in. It's it's from another garage. You know, they'll be all right, and don't take any details down. You know, that's fine. You know, but you know, we need to get these processes put in place so we know exactly where they are. So yeah, the 4 question or the 4 bits we're going to note down is going to be on the diary in the same order. And then when we are looking up the old faults as well, they'll still be in the same order. We can look up search reg numbers, or search up the car, or search the fault. So that will make it a bit more simple. And then we're going to give them the same type of advice as well, aren't we? Yeah. So again, explaining what the deposit's about, etc.
So we take a deposit for every booking, which is £150. That is 2 hours worth of investigation. So that covered the first 2 hours of all work done on the customer's car, which some people don't understand that. So if we just say to them, we're going to take a deposit, they don't really know what it's for. But it does cover, we'll explain it does cover the first 2 hours, but after that everything else is chargeable at our normal rate.
The other thing, it's not refundable. The reason why it's not refundable, so if I book one in for 6 days time, we take the deposit on it, from that point onwards I'm not offering anyone else that slot. The next customer that phones might have an MOT failure, they've only got 10 days to do it, and I say we can do it in 6 days, but it doesn't work for them. They can't get time off work, they wanted that one slot, so I turn that customer away. So I've lost that customer. So it's not about can I fill that slot with a different customer. There's a good chance I've turned 5, 6, 7 different customers away for that slot, and the possibility is I've lost a couple of them as well. So people think it's okay, they'll just the day before they'll just cancel and go, well, you'll be able to find something to do. That's not the point. I've turned customers away, never had to go somewhere else. So that is what they're paying for. And also, we're going to be looking up car details now before the car even gets here. That's why we're taking the registration numbers and stuff. So we could have done an hour's work before it even got here. So we explained to them it's non-refundable because of that. If they change their mind, if they crash their car, if they have their mate round, he's been on YouTube and he's going to have a quick go at it, that's their decision. Once they've committed to us that they want us to start turning customers away, if they go ahead and have somebody else fix it, that's their problem. But again, they have been advised in the same way, whether it's me saying it or Barney saying it.
Cars will always have to be left for at least a day. We get customers phone up and say, I'm going to hang about in town until it's done. You're not, because if the car, at the end of the day, if it's not finished and you've been hanging around in town all day, you're going to be fuming when you come back to the workshop and find your car in a million pieces.
Yeah, so if we say it's at least a day, they know they've got to go home. Again, Christian has said it a few times that, just drop it off, leave it with us. That's not as, that can be interpreted different. We're saying leave for at least a day. They know they might get a phone call the following morning, so leaving it with us does mean, I'll pop into town and I'll pop back later. That's not the same. So, again, it's always worked for us, but while we've got Barney here new, we might as well put these processes in place and, get it going as smooth as we can.
Obviously, we will update the customer. That'll either be in the afternoon if we work on a car in the morning, or the following morning if we work on it that afternoon. But obviously, we're always going to update the customer. And we will never go over 5 hours worth of investigation without informing the customer, so they don't end up racking up a £2,000 bill at the end of it.
And if they do, they're informed each step of the way, so they're not going to get a shock of phoning them up 3 days later going, it's £2,000. So, at least they know what's going on. And they do say to me, you will keep us informed, won't you? I'll say, but it won't be every hour. We're not giving you, we've checked this, it weren't that, check this, it weren't that. We're just going to get into it, get a full understanding of the car, and then we'll come back to you and we can say, it's getting a bit, involved, it's going to be a couple of days, is that okay? We've already got you stripped down, etc. So we will keep them informed. So so bullet points, because we're a bit professional. Look, asking the right questions in the right order, year, make, model, frequency of the fault, etc. Then tell them when we're booking in the amount we're going to charge for a deposit and the reasons why. Then we're going to take all their details, again, all in the same order, and then telling them why we take the deposit, what it covers, first 2 hours, and everything after that's chargeable. They're non-refundable, we're not mucking about, and cars need to be left with us for at least a day. If we've told them exactly the same as that, when they turn up and they go, I'm just going to hang around in town, I know for a fact that they've been told this information, unless he's done his job wrong. And if he has, it's his problem. But yeah, so if I know that I've said it, he knows he said it. Even if they drop it off, unless they come in and actually specifically say Bob said, in which we would mark down a diary, so while you wait, one specific job, a dash cluster fault or something like that, unless it's noted down, he's going to be quite, confident that I would have said it's got to be left with us for at least a day. We tell every one of our customers that. So yeah, so that's a couple of things put in place, make it a bit easier, won't it? Yeah. So going to stick them up on the wall, and now we know from now on every job that's going to come in is going to have the right information. We're going to have the right information. They're going to have the right information. It'll smooth the process out. So yeah, it's taking us an hour to run through this. It's taking us about 1 million hours to record this, but it should smooth things out from now on. So good.
Well, it's an hour now, but it will save a lot more time in the future. So
yeah, unless you balls it out.
I'm thinking about you. That old foggy brain. I don't know.
Yeah, it's down to age. So right, let's get on with the day anyway, and see what we can fix. Ta-da! Right, got this 60 plate Fiesta in. Customers fitted a new seat. The seat bolster had worn out, so he's fitted another seat in it. Airbag light come on, couldn't reset it. He's taken to another garage. They seem to think that it's got crash data in it now, and it must have come out of a crashed car, which is now written back to the airbag module. Obviously, it doesn't work like that. If you're in an accident, it's only crash sensors what tell the ECU what to do. If this was brought out of a crash car and there was a fault on the airbag, it would just be open circuit or short circuit. So we've come to this one. This side airbag is open circuit. Let me show you on the scanner what we got. So we've got the side airbag the other side. That's 2.57 ohms. This side is 65 ohms, so that is a completely open circuit. So we've gone back to the main plug on the seat. I can resist it on the seat and it's all okay. But I'll show you what we found. So this is the driver side airbag, and it's got a switch on the buckle. That's working. This bit's not. On the other side, got the switch, got an occupancy sensor, and we've got the airbag. I've gone and tested here, resisted here, everything's good. It changes in the live data. If I resist directly on here, it doesn't. But if I resist here, it does. So I thought it was going to have a broken wire in between. But right, so this is the plug what comes from the car. These are the wires which we just checked on auto data. If we resist there, it works on the live data. That's absolutely fine. If we resist in the seat, it doesn't. So we check the wiring back down here, and this plug, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? For some reason, they've changed it from seat to seat. That they put it in one slot on one seat, exactly the same seat, same pattern, same car. So all now we've got to do is take that connector out of the plug, move it up. We will need to shave off the. They've got little locators on there, so the locators will only let it slide in the bottom slot. It will slide in the top, so we'll pull that out, slide the cut off that little locator, and that'll be done. So as easy as fitting a seat. For some reason, Ford decide, let's just put that one down there for no reason. So right, let's get that done. We've changed that over, put it in the right place. As you can see, 65 ohms on that. I'll clip it in. Perfect. So 2.57, exactly the same as the other one. Just make sure the airbag light goes off. The airbag light's on. Reset. Resets. That's good. So there we go. So airbag lights off. Let's just go back in, double check the codes. So it should just have some stored codes in there. So yeah, just store code for both sides where we've been playing with it. So clear them. And there we go. No fault codes detected. So job's a carrot. Right, so I've spent another hour this morning moving some cars about. Again, we want to get into a bit of a process. So let's show you what we got. So this side's for any cars that we're waiting for parts for. So we know when we don't even need to look over there until the part turns up. This side, these are the cars we need to work on. These are the ones left. So yeah, we just look out the door, what we've got to do, you know you've got something to do. And anything down the end past my van there everything's done. Customers have been phoned. So again, as long as we know they've been called, that's it. So I've not got to think about any cars what I've done. I've got not to think about any cars that have had the parts ordered and they're put to one side. So instead of going out there looking around, what's left, what have we got to do, have we done everything? We'll look out here, what's down there, let's get on with some work. So yeah, that should make it a bit easier. So I'm going to clear a couple more cars out of the workshop and see how we go with that. Right, so coming on a Friday, I don't do it normally, but we've been doing so much of the processes and stuff, you know, that we still had some jobs left over. So got the Mercedes, we've got the wiring diagram for that. That's coming back in next Monday or Tuesday, depends on when we've got a bit of slot going on. Waiting for a part for this Mercedes, and the Audi's being a pain, so there's nothing we can do. So we've moved a load of cars about, made sure everything's ordered, made sure everything's good, and then we can start next week. We're going to get 4 cars in on Monday. We're going to have 4 bays left here. We'll just bring them in, get them done. So the Ford Focus with the battery drain, we've actually come in this morning and fixed that. I was close to it, and then somebody mentioned on my channel something he's seen before, and yeah, it was literally one of the things which we would have been onto that next. Definitely, that was the area we was going into. But you'll see more of that on Monday night. I'm going to record all that Monday, so start to finish. And yeah, hopefully you like that. Let us know in the comments what you think of the how-to videos or the case study videos. So yeah, so I thought I'd come in Friday, get this all done. Everything's good. Customer phones up. Oh, I had my car dropped down to you on Wednesday. I say, oh yeah, the one that was broken down at the other garage. I told them, drop it over here, leave it with us, we'll jump on it. Yeah, well, they said it would be done by the end of the week. So there's no way they would have said that. You know, they don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what's wrong with it. If it's broken down there, you might as well have it over here, you know, and I'll squeeze it in between jobs. Or wait the 3 weeks and I'll book you in then. Oh, no, I need it back. That's why it's not done, you know. It's another customer expecting a load of things. It's going, well, I'm self-employed. So am I, you know. And I bet your customers won't be happy if you just jump off one because somebody's more important than the other. You don't work like that. They're going, well, they told me it'd be done by the end of the week. So I guarantee they don't. I've worked with this fella since I was a kid. You know, he knows how I work, I know how he works. You know, he don't promise nothing, especially when it's an unknown fault. He would have told you, we'll bring it over and I'll be working on it. But there's no time scale. So as well, I do appreciate what you're doing. So it doesn't sound like you do. So perfect end to the Friday. So I'll see you Monday with a Focus, and then we'll carry on recording next week. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully Barney carries on the way he is, and we'll see you next week. Ta-da!